Whiplash is directed by Damien Chazelle and stars Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. This was released back in 2014, and I have been meaning to talk about this for quite some time. I want to take a look back at the decade and pick some films that really do mean quite a lot to me, and this is one of them, pretty much. The film tells a story of Andrew Naiman, played by Miles Teller, is a very young but a very ambitious drummer, a jazz drummer, who wants to be the best. He goes to this class and he is taught by J.K. Simmons' character, Terence Fletcher. And that's when we see the depiction between their relationship, how they bond, and their chemistry, if they even do bond. And that's the thing. How far would you be willing to go as a teacher to a point where you're just going to be completely brutal to your student? And that's what happens in this film. Miles Teller's character has to pretty much psychologically go through his day thinking that he has to prove himself and to everyone else while literally being battered mentally, emotionally, and sometimes physically as well. It is a harsh class taught by J.K. Simmons. He is a brutal monster in this film, and it's crazy to see that psychological warfare between these two characters go throughout the entire film. This film was released back in 2014, and that year, 2014, I really began to understand films on a deeper level. I'm serious. I thought that, okay, understanding a film was just something I only realized then. I'd only look at films that were blockbusters or high budget films. And so when I look at that year, I looked at the high budgets, I looked at the blockbusters, I looked at the flops. But I didn't really look at the independent films. I didn't really look at that much of the low budget films that much either. And this is one of them. This is the best of 2014. This is my favorite film of 2014. Whiplash is a masterpiece. I don't care how many times a person would say that. With a film like this, you have to keep saying that. I have to remind everyone, to myself as well, Whiplash is flawless. This is one of the most intense, inspiring films that I have ever seen in my life. It is filled with riveting scenes from beginning to end. I've wanted to talk about this for quite some time, for so long, and finally I'm able to. Miles Teller is so great in this film. He is so highly believable as a character that many can relate to in this. He's a very, very typical sort of character that you'd see in a day-to-day basis, but a very driven one as well. A person who has a purpose, something to do in this world that he wants to do so proudly, and that is to be a drummer, to be a jazz musician, a jazz drummer. And it's not easy when you have a mentor, teacher, coach, whatever it is, literally making you go crazy, psychologically, literally just making your life a living hell. And that's what happens in this film. He has the passion. His passion is music, jazz, playing the drums, and to be the next Charlie Parker. He has told everyone that he will do whatever it takes to prove that. But then we have J.K. Simmons, who undoubtedly stole the entire film for me. This man, this actor is just... his performance is breathtaking. It's jaw-dropping. You can't predict what's going to happen, what really is going to happen, how far he would be willing to go to destroy or mentally destroy this character, to destroy the student. And he does it by being so profane. But he's such a good villain. He's such a great bad guy in this film. If you honestly think that J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man was the worst that you've seen,
You serious?
he is visceral in this film. Even Damien Chazelle directed J.K. Simmons to be an animal, to be something that's not human. Just go to the next level with this performance. What makes this film so special, what gives this film such a kick, is its raw brutal originality, really. It's such an original film. It hides away from that musical prodigy genre. If you think of all those films that you're thinking of, forget them. Wipe them away, because you have a brand new one right here. It's compelling, it's original, it's riveting, it's thought-provoking, and it's exactly what I wanted it to be completely. But it's subtle as well. It has a subtle portrayal of the shifting chemistry between a student and its teacher. The film delivers in such a psychological battle of montage of a film. This film is a psychological battle montage throughout. But it really is a delight in spectacle of just relentless torture, but in the best way possible. Yes, it gives you that anxious feeling, that nerve-wracking feeling, but you keep on the edge of your seat to know and try to find out what is happening to both these characters, how are they interacting next, what's going to be the next scene. You don't know what's coming, and you see that quite a lot in this film. It's entirely character-driven drama with incredible performances by both actors. But more importantly, this film asks you a question, the viewer, a question of true passion. True passion is there, but also asks you the fact that if a violent method, a violent, harsh way of teaching facilities can change the student for better or for worse. And somehow you can argue for both reasons. The best thing about this film is that it doesn't answer the question. It refuses to answer the question, because it leaves it up to us. It leaves it up to you guys as to what you think. Yes, you can see both reasons as to how our person would argue or for or against. It's just a really interesting way of looking at it. If you think that Fletcher's terrible teaching is a crazy way and it's just him being a terrible person, you're not really understanding the moral of the story, not really understanding the whole premise of the story. He is pushing Miles Teller's character. That's what I'm going to say. But it's a really interesting thing, because it's really brought up this whole talk and debate back at the time of its release. But that's the wrong way to look at it. If you're thinking that Terence Fletcher's teaching is terrible and just whatever, that thought is wrong, I would say. I wonder if he is part of why Andrew Neiman is so driven and so passionate about it, because he is also afraid of not wanting to let a person like Terence Fletcher down. That's what I think. This film really does have that theme of the pursuit of greatness. The pursuit of greatness, and how it cannot always be pretty. It cannot always be simple. It will always be a brutal journey from in the main character's perspective. This film perfectly, realistically portrays that, and you will find something in your life that you love and you work hard for and you sacrifice for, but then you will be in someone's class and you'll be someone's mentor, and you'll have that mentor, that teacher, that coach that drives you, but to what level? But you will have a mentor, a teacher, a coach who will cultivate your skills, but the film questions the idea if the best approach is that or the current society approach, which is just to nurture one another and therefore for it to be not as motivating. This is one of the best movies of the decade. I've said it already and I'll say it again, this is one of them. It has amazing plot, the complex characters, flawless acting, memorable scenes. The way Chazelle respects music is just incredible. The music, the fast drumming beats, it kept me awake throughout the entire film. Chazelle is so good at portraying this journey with such clever lighting and fast-paced camera work. He really does convey that sense of urgency and chaos. The film really does have some captivating long shots, some masterfully executed camera work as well. It really does draw the audience into the film, and how brilliant there is that theme of obsession and passion. And you see that with montages of Miles Teller just playing drums in a very violent way. He's trying to release that anger that J.K. Simmons put in him. which is crazy. Honestly, I can't find a single moment, a single scene that feels misplaced or out of place at all. I think this film is flawless. There is not a single piece of that flaw in this film. That's just my humble opinion. It is a relentlessly paced film throughout, without losing an ounce of its time, its allure. It just doesn't have that at all. It really is a breathtaking study in how carefully chosen the scenes are, placed with one another, with just incredible dialogue. I think this film really is a true classic in the making. I'm going to give Whiplash an A+. It fully deserves it. And I gotta say that the final 20 minutes of this film, the final scene, the final climax of this film is one of the best that I've seen in history, in film history. It will knock your socks off. It will jaw drop you. And it definitely gave me goosebumps every time I watch it. It is incredible. I love Whiplash. It's fantastic. Prepare yourself if you haven't seen it already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.